Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another railroad development stream. Today we are going to be continuing. Turn my light on. Today we're going to be continuing with the VCS system, and we are luckily pretty close to being done, which is always good. Or done with the MVP, anyway. It's not done in total, of course. We have a lot more to do with that, but for our first initial kind of system, this is pretty close. Now, what I am just doing... So today we're going to be working, I think, on the remotes UI. Now, I've just got ChatGPT to once again go ahead and... just generate like a mock thing for us, but it hasn't really worked, so I think I'm gonna have to try and launch one in VS Code, or at least the preview on ChatGPT itself hasn't worked, so quickly just gonna try something. Okay. And okay, VS Code is being very slow. Okay, so if I now just quickly try and open this so that we can see roughly what we're looking for. Okay, that's good enough. Also, I need to do Discord announcement before I do forget. Do that today. Oops. That did not copy the link at all. Okay. Nice. So, yes. Let me bring this over. Just to make sure it hasn't doxed me again. You never know. Okay. So here's what it's given us for remotes. I mean, I think this is probably fine. Generally. So we have like a list of the remotes up here. We have the selected one, which would be like I select one of these and it shows one of these, and then we have operations, which I guess what actually is this? So edit, remove, fetch, prune. I don't know. I guess we can kind of do these. So prune is just fetch dash dash prune. So that's actually super easy to do. Remove just deletes the remote. Edit, I assume, would be like, I don't know, like just delete it and add back a new one, I guess. Oh no, you can use get remote set URL. So okay, and then you would set the URL for that remote. Okay, that's fine. Hello, Among the Couch 23. Dev is going pretty well. We're just working on the Git system at the moment. So for those who have not been paying attention to the last streams, I'll quickly give it a run and I'll show you where we're at. And basically what we're going to be doing today. This is what we're going to be doing today, basically, but refresh, fetch, all prune, yeah, that's fine. So that's what I'm going to be following today, that UI, just so we know. Okay, we have to wait for it to start up, though. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Okay. So, if we launch railroad up, I think maybe my next task after I've done this is add a loading screen between here and the IDE, because it looks bad. The fact that it takes so long there, it doesn't look great. Okay. I always like to just wait for Gradle to load, just because it lags for a little second. So last time, I think we were working on branches, and we made it so we can double click and it brings up this UI, which basically shows you everything about that branch. And we've got some buttons here, which I think we got all working fine as well. So yeah, we can do that. That's great. That's what we did last time. What's causing it to take which part of the UI? I think, well, at the moment, it would be the git stuff. And you can see it runs all of these git commands. So that takes a while. Plus, I think detecting the facets takes a really long time. So, like, when it sees this project, it needs to figure out what type of project it is. So it runs Java. No, it doesn't actually do anything with Java. It just looks for files. And then it also does some Gradle stuff to figure out if it's a Gradle project, and then it gets details from the Gradle project as well. I'll close these. And also, I think it does... So once it figures out it is a Gradle project, it then tries to see if it's a Fabric project. So it also does some Fabric stuff. Are you using different threads right now, or is it all ran on one thread? Because if you have it loaded on multiple threads, it might speed up. Currently, it's doing, or at least, I mean, I haven't checked, admittedly, but I think what it's doing is it's running it on the UI thread, and it needs to be running it on a background thread. I think it's probably running it on a UI thread, hence it lags. But there needs to be a loading screen, because we can't just load the UI first, because that would just break everything. So that, like, there's gonna have to be some kind of loading screen there. But yes, every IDE will do these things. They might do them differently, but they will do these things. Anyways, today, as I said, we're going to work on get remotes. Now, this isn't really that important of a thing to do. If I just go back to the kind of list of things I want to get done for MVP, I am more tempted to do syncing today, just because that's quite an important one. Syncing and stashing are the main two other things. You could always have a small animation play with a minecart going on the IDE icon in the middle of the screen until it prepares everything. That would be very cool. Yes, but I'm not good enough at animation for that. If someone wants to go ahead and make such an animation, please feel free. I am not, unfortunately. You know, if someone wants to do that, I'm sure we can get you the model file that was used to make the icon. Maybe. I actually don't know if that's possible. Let me quickly just do a ping and ask someone. I actually don't think we have that on hand. When it probably would be good to have that on hand. I'm just gonna ping someone and see if they have it or not. I don't even know what format it is in, actually. Like, I don't remember what the icon was made in. I didn't make the icon, by the way. Just so we're clear. Yeah. I've sent a ping. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, please join the Discord. It's linked in the description. I always forget to say that, but yes. It should be available. We do not have an exclamation mark Discord command. We actually, I'm a terrible streamer. Let's just put it like that. I don't know how to make commands and stuff. Probably possible. I don't know. I don't know if Botrix can do this actually, because that really should be a command, shouldn't it? Okay, I'm not going to do this now because I don't know how to do that right now. Maybe after the stream I'll sort that out. Okay, so yeah, basically there's 3 pieces of UI we need to do that are left over. So, one, we have remotes. So we have to figure out the remotes, which is basically this UI. Basically this. Then the next one is going to be syncing. So that's going to be a UI where we can like push, pull, fetch. Basically like if I go in here, right? Basically like this, just like this section. So I can switch, not repository, but I can switch branch. I can fetch, I can push, I can pull, all of those. Probably some actions like these as well that's got down here. So like creating a pull request, maybe. This doesn't make sense, but maybe show an explorer, maybe view on GitHub, those kind of things. So that's option 2. And then option 3. Okay, we actually have 4 options, never mind. So option 3 is stashing. So when we go ahead and stash some changes, we need to be able to pop the stash and view the stash even. Apply the stash, all those shenanigans. And then the final one, well, we also do have tags and releases, but that's not that important. We can do that later. The last one is settings. So we need a way to change the get settings. So like the get executable path would be one of them. User config, so like your name, email, signing, anything else. I'm trying to think, is there anything else you would change? I don't. Probably some other things as well. So we need to do all of those. Hello, Alessandro. Welcome to the stream. Right now we're working on the Git integration system. I think that's what the title says, right? Where it says VCS system again. No, Git. It does say Git. That's fine. I realize some people don't know what VCS is, so. Okay, so I think let's just do remotes just because we already have that UI. Did you use AI to generate that HTML? Yes. Big man ChatGPT is doing some great work generating HTML for me. But it's fine because we have to now recreate that UI in Java, which is unfortunately the hard part. I can't even remember where the friggin' classes are. I haven't touched this project since last stream, by the way, guys, just so we're, you know, on track. So I'm a little bit rusty. So it's in here, there. Sure, we'll make a new package, I think. Package, there you go. Okay, things are being a little bit slow today. I don't know why. Let's just check that I don't have anything else running in the background. Everything. I can close everything. I'm not going to use everything. I might use everything for scenic view, actually. So I am going to bring that back up. Never mind. I've no clue why, but Claude seems to be doing a lot better coding than me for GPT ever could. GPT seems better for images and video, as Sora. Claude seems better with coding. I've never used Claude, but I found that GPT is really good. I generally think they're all really good if you pay for them. But I think if you pay for them, they're all terrible, and I wouldn't recommend them. Like ChatGPT, I find is just best for like general stuff. So since I have it for that, I also just use it for Codex as well, because that means I don't have to pay anything extra. So yeah. What will this developing IDE be able to do? It will primarily be used for developing Minecraft mods. Or I say primarily, that is basically it. I mean, you could use it for just general Java stuff, but that's not the intention. Technically, technically, like right now, we open Railroad in Railroad. And we don't code Railroad in Railroad, though, because unfortunately we're not quite there with that yet, but we're not far off, to be honest. Get remotes pane, I think is the convention I'm using. What library are you using for the front end? We are using Java FX, because that is just the best library for Java. Swing is not good, AWT not good. The only other option is like Kotlin Compose, but I'm honestly just not good enough at Kotlin for that. So since it's for Minecraft modding, doing it in Java just means that Minecraft modders can help. I mean, that just makes perfect sense, at least in my eyes. So I mean, there's other reasons. You can view the video I made about Railroad if you want to know about those reasons, but that's kind of the primary. I apologize if you can hear the dog barking. You probably can. Someone's at the door, apparently. That's always nice. GPT tends to go on loops and make silly mistakes that take multiple messages to fix, while Claude literally tests the thing itself and fixes its own issues. I mean, I think it just depends on what integration you have. You know, I mean, when I'm using Codex, or when I'm using GPT, I'm using Codex, right? So this is basically what I do, right? And I do WSL to get me into Ubuntu, because it's just shit on Windows for some reason. Don't know why. And then Codex. But I wouldn't do it like that. I would do this one, because otherwise it just codes for me, which I don't want it to do. So yeah. I don't really use the actual chat, you know, actual chatgpt.com. I don't really use that for programming because it's just not as good, like at all. It's really not even comparable. Will this IDE be exclusive for Fabric, Forge, NeoForge? The intention is to support all of them and support multi-loader as well. And also, I mean, this is something we've been discussing a little bit in the Discord. Join the Discord in the description down below. We're also looking at supporting plugins, but I personally have never done plugins, so I can't say how you know, how likely that is. I don't know. Also, apparently plugins just don't really need as much of an ecosystem, so possibly not even necessary, but that is kind of correct, Copilot, but not quite what I'm looking for. I've also just somehow accidentally closed the UI again. Here we go. Okay, there you go. I got it back. So we also want a get selected selected. Or we can do get remote details pane. And then we can do private final. The last one is get remote actions pane. Like that. Sure. Claude has a better insight coding structure, but if you're doing it from computer, then yeah, that's different. Yeah, as I say, I have never used Claude, so I can't comment on that. I would agree that ChatGPT does not have a great system for like coding on the site. It is just not good for that. So yeah. Sure, we could do it like that, I guess. Okay. I don't know what my spacing usually is. I should probably check for consistency, but I didn't mean to do get children, I meant to do get style sheets. That is not correct. Wait, no, I didn't mean to do get style sheets. What am I doing, guys? I meant to do get style class. Yeah, get style class dot add. Get remotes pane. There we go. Clanker coding. Hi, big Brit. Okay, that is crazy. That is the strangest message I've ever seen. But welcome to the stream at Spider-Man Lift. Okay, let's create the remote list. So this is going to be a basic list view. Like that, and that will take in I get remote, which I think I already have as a class. I actually cannot type, should I? Yes, I do. Okay. Honestly, this actually might be basically correct. I mean, most lists are standard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. This is like kind of correct. Obviously, the only thing it hasn't done set cell factory. I mean, that's kind of expected. So we can do get remote list cell, and we can do public static class. This is just a normal list cell. Okay, and then we just need a public static class. Get remote list. Item pane, I guess. Okay, we'll just do that and then like that. And then yeah, basically that. Okay, I think that's fine. I mean, that's basically what we're looking for there. The actual item itself, so let me bring up the UI again. So it actually probably would be better off being a HBox. And we're going to want a couple things. So yeah, first of all, let's do that. That's no, we're not going to have that. So we are going to have a label. So what it said is correct, but that's not obviously the only thing we're going to have. So we're going to have var remote name label equal to a new. We can actually do a text, just because I think text is more efficient or something. There we go. Let me have a quick Google. I probably Googled this like 100 million times and forgotten it every single time. Here we go. Yeah, so if you want to display text content not associated with an input, you use text. That's basically the general consensus, I suppose. So remote.get now, I think it's just remote.name. Yes, it is. Then we have, I've lost the UI again. Of course I have. Okay, so we have the default. Right. So next one is we have the default, whether it's the default one or not. In here, it's also put disabled. Can you disable a remote? Is that a thing you can do? I don't think you can do that, right? I'm just going to screenshot the UI and ask. I've had a Google, but Google is not really telling me, so ask ChatGPT. Can you disable a Get remote? See what it says. Okay, so apparently you can kind of disable a remote, but it's not like a first class concept. So it's like, so you can do -- unset all on the remotes, and then I don't think we should support disabling a remote. Apparently most don't. Like most Get things just don't support that. So I think let's not bother with that. And we will just do. So first of all, this needs to not be like that. This needs to be in a H box or a V box. I mean, we can come back to that. Okay, we need to know the last fetch time. So var last fetch time. This will be a new text. And we can use time formatter dot. So we can actually use a localized text here. Time formatter dot format allow. So we can pass in a key first of all, which will be get dot. No, it's railroad dot get dot remote dot list dot fetched time, I guess. I don't know. And then format elapsed remote dot. I don't think I can get the last fetched, but I can do. We actually don't support this right now, do we? I'm just trying to think. We should pass in here the get manager. And then we can kind of support that. We can do get manager dots. Yeah, so basically this, but like we want it for that specific remote. When you go to the barber, what do you ask for? What I ask for when I go to the barber, I literally say to them, what do I say? I haven't actually been for a long time. Last time I went, they kind of did it differently to how I normally have it, and that was like 3 months, 4 months ago. Let's see. So what I usually say is, can you shorten it and tidy it up? That's literally all I say. I don't have like a specific like, hey, can you do you know, faded, I don't say anything like that because I don't know what any of that means. So it's literally just like, hey, can you tidy it up and shorten it a bit? And that's what they do, and that works for me. Because I don't really care enough to sit there and be like, hey, can you do this, 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 and this? Okay, so the next one is the protocol. So we have remote.protocol, and then we can just do dot name to lowercase. Now I don't know what the protocol is. Oh, I see. It's just yeah. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Now with the last fetch thing, we're gonna want to add a timeline. I don't know how you do timelines. New timeline. Let's see. Fetch. How do you spell elapsed, guys? Is it double L? Elapsed? That doesn't look right, though. That doesn't look right either. I have to Google it. It is a single L. Okay. Fetch elapsed animation. And I assume this is probably correct. That's of seconds, like that. This can just be $, because we're in Java 21, unfortunately. Need to update to Java 25 at some point as well. That is probably actually a better thing to do next. And then... Oh, is that all you do? Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Okay. Okay, that's the protocol. And then... Finally, it's just the number of URLs it has. So we'll have a var URLs count. Text will be remote.urls now. I think that's just 1 or 2, I think. I think you can have... Yeah, I'm asking about how multiple URLs work, but I'm pretty sure you can only have a fetch and a push URL, right? Oh, interesting. So you can... Hmm. Interesting. So you can actually have multiple fetch URLs and multiple push URLs. Interesting. So we can do fetch URLs dot size and remote dot push. That doesn't really make sense actually. Let's do get manager or get manager like this. Get fetch URLs remote dot size plus get push URLs dot size. Okay, so then we can have the info box, which will be like that. We can have spacing of 5, I guess. So what's that put in there? That's put remote name protocol text. I'm just seeing what. No, don't really want to do it like that. Okay, this can be a H box then. And this can actually then just be fetch elapsed time, last fetch time text. And then bar I don't really know what to call. What would you guys call this? Like this is a full vertical thing. Because obviously you would do this as like a H box as the whole thing, right? Then you'd have a H box down here. And then you'd have... We're going to ignore this default shenanigans. Actually, should we ignore the default? I guess, because obviously that could be a H box as well, but I don't know what that default means. Yeah, there is no default. I guess it would be the remote for the current branch, right? Okay, actually, I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. So actually, I know what we can call this then. We can call this the bottom info box. Bottom info box. And then we can also have the top info box will be the remote name. And then we're also going to have this default tag. So, so we can say, if get manager dot, I can get the current branch, right? Get current branch. Okay. So then what I can do is I can get manager dot, can I get the, so I can get the branch, but I can't get the upstream. I guess I can get upstream, which would get the current upstream. Okay, sure. So if I map that to... sorry if this is a question you get a lot, but what do you use to render the app JavaFX Compose? Well, currently, we are using JavaFX. Once again, I don't know why I'm saying currently, because we're always going to use JavaFX, but that is what we are using. Oh shit, this is an object. Okay, in that case we need to map it. So we need to do get upstream remote name. And then we can do or else like that. And then we can do dot equals current branch. No. Equals get remote dot name. Okay, then we can say var upstream text. Sure. That shouldn't be like that. What the hell is this? Wait, where the hell? What is this? I don't know why it did that. I probably did that and just didn't realize I did that. Okay, so that's the bottom info box, and then we have a var info box, which will be a vbox like that, and then finally we have, so this is the main H box, so then we just add those. Okay, then we just want to do okay, so that's done that as hgrow always. I mean, we kind of don't want that though. We want URLs count text to grow. Well, no, actually we don't. We do want that to grow always. Then we want to do set alignment. That's not a thing, because we want to do vbox set alignment. Oh, no, because it's not like that, is it? It's like this. Okay. So then that does center left. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. So then we can do top info box, set alignment center left, bottom info box, and info box, I guess. Okay. So then just the next thing we need to do, okay, this also needs to get manager. What we can do is we can pass that in as a field like that. Get manager. Nice. And then we can just do this dot get manager. And we can pass that into here. So this just needs to take in the get manager. Okay, stop it, IntelliJ. Why are you like this? Okay. Okay. Next thing is just this then. So we can get a list of get remote, I guess, or I guess just a string, right? Okay. So there's some commands we can run here. Okay. So we can do this first of all. Or remote is equal null. Return list of. Okay, then we can do this. Okay, it's a string. Rename that to repo. Okay, then yeah, it should be able to just autocomplete that. Let me just run this command and see what output it gives us. So if we do feature /BCS integration. Oh, is it? It would be, I guess, origin. Origin main? Okay, maybe I don't know how this works. Would it just be main? Okay, what if I just do... Okay, what if I do, Oh, because it's origin. It's the name of the origin, not the branch. Yeah, there you go. But, like, if I do that... Yeah, that doesn't work, but... Okay, I see. I'm being an idiot. So if I do this, and I instead of doing URL, I can do .push URL. No? Interesting. Why? Is that alright? I mean, I can also do .fetch, right? Okay, that just gives me the ref spec, though. Okay. So I guess push URL, I mean, push URL should fall back to URL. There you go. Do that. And I'm going to do the same thing here as well. Okay, and then we can create these commands. Okay, so that does remote. That's not a thing, I think. I mean, I can try it, but I don't think that's a thing. Get URL -- all origin. That is a thing. Huh. Not what we're looking for, though. Let me ask it, actually. Let's see what it says. Okay, actually, this is fine, apparently. So I can just use, I can rename this to get remote URLs. And rename this to get remote URLs. Get rid of this, because in that case we don't need this. And come back to here. Rename this. And boom. That's actually so much simpler now because we can just do this. Now the only other thing I will do is I will do get manager.repo status property.add listener. And I'm going to say URLs count will just reset that to be what it was previously. Set text is not the right one. It's set key and arcs. There you go. Okay. I have some errors. Don't know what they are. Get last fetch timestamp remote. Okay, we can do that one next then. So can I don't want to do that. I want to create method. Okay. I assume this is doable. Only thing actually. So I mean, this one does just do this though. I really want like a map. Like I would be better off having a private vinyl map of string to a long, and it can even be a map property actually, which would be remote fetch timestamps like that, and then I can get rid of last fetch timestamp, right? And what that can do is we can do remote fetch timestamps. Would this work? Oops, don't. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, Copilot's going to do that now, apparently. That's nice. I guess we'll just let it do it. Since it's already started it, it might as well. Okay, so like this doesn't need to exist. This can be... I mean, actually... Sure, I guess that this can work, actually. This just needs to be last... this needs to be fetch timestamp start as mapped of... No, we can do... Can we not map the value? Like if I do this, may not contain of type observable map. Wait, so what does this give me? Okay, that's discard. Discard. Occasionally you get settings objection only sets the auto refresh overwriting other settings. Yeah, that's actually correct. That's actually correct. That's kind of funny that it actually did get that correct. Was it done here? Yeah, I mean, that's actually also correct. Admittedly done a pretty good job there. Though something is broken. Probably, though, that is just... Well, I don't know, actually. A lot of things are broken, apparently. What have I done, chat? Okay, I think it's just this that's breaking everything. So, here we have the string long observable map, which is the map. So we do string long observable map. Values.stream long dots compared to or else. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Right, so then that's just an observable value. Observable value of a long. Because I don't think we can actually turn that then into a property, can we? No, I don't think so. But that's fine. And then this will just be last fetch time, then property.get value. Okay, now let's try and fix these errors that have now appeared. Yeah, it's broken this somehow. I'm gonna have to check Git and see what the hell it's actually done here. What is it doing? What? It's meant to be this. There you go. It really messed that one up, huh? It's also project.datastore.write JSON. So that's just writing it twice, though. So that shouldn't be there either. Okay. I think the rest is fine. I think that's just bugging out. So then it's also messed this up, apparently. Yeah, this isn't right. What's it done here? I'm just gonna discard this change. How can I not do that? Okay, I guess I can't do that. We'll try to find it here. Oh, it's just deleted this line. That's why. I was so confused. So it was kind of along the right lines. It just deleted the line. It shouldn't have. I don't know which. So this was the original, so that's probably not the right one. Okay. I think that's fixed it. So if we now come down here, first of all, like this shouldn't exist. That doesn't make sense. Also, there's a warning here. STL null is always false. Yeah, that's true. That doesn't need to be there. Okay, this should then go ahead and let's move this. This also isn't correct. What the hell is this? What? Collectors.toMap collects. So it does get remotes. Okay, that's not correct. Okay, that's better. That's more close to what I wanted. Okay, so then we can do this. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think we're fixing things. So now this gives us what? So that gives us a string which goes into the text. Yeah, that's not correct. This is also not correct. That needs to be set key and args. Then we guess, yeah, that's also the wrong duration as well. There you are. That needs to be JavaFX duration. Oh, seconds. Okay, is that everything? I think so. So I think now we just want to get codecs to add everything to the lang. And also do the styles real quick as well. I'm gonna actually move. Am I? No, I'm actually gonna leave it there. Right now, while we are working on the get remotes pane, or the list specifically, but we are now about to work on the details pane as well. Now this one, so this is basically the details pane. I guess we probably do just want it to be a VBox. We want to have a private final object property of get remote, which is the remote, which is equal to a new simple object property. Give remote detailed pane. This should by default take in a remote. Okay. When that changes, this should do update contents. We should do this. Update content. Okay, there we go. Next we actually want to do update content, new value. Okay. We can do this, that's fine. That just obviously needs to be translatable. Railroad.get.remotes.details no remotes selected. That. Okay. Then in here, let's open back up that UI. I'm going to move it to my other window so I can actually look at it. Okay, so first of all, we have the name. So we have var remote name text. This will just be remote.name. That's fine, but that's not like get details remote name or get remote details remote name. If we want to know if it's the default remote, so basically the same thing as what we had in here to check that, which I can't find. This, okay. So we can do this. This will need the get manager. So private final get manager manager. Okay. So then we use the Git manager to do that. Then we're gonna do and basically the same as this. And we'll want to add that to I guess we also want a because I mean we want it to be like in a table, right? Like how it is here. I guess similar to. Oh, I guess we can't run it and see, can we? What is this similar to though? Yeah, I'll do. I will go to one of the past streams and I'll have a look at what it's similar to. Because I'm not sure. Okay, I am like failing to go to YouTube Studio right now. Okay, I found a solution. Okay. Trying to find it. I'm struggling to find it. But it's taking me a very long time to find this. At this point, I probably could have just looked at the code and seen, couldn't I? I'm gonna do that. So I think it's commit details pane. I think. No. Also, this should be translated title. Okay, we'll come back to that in the future. I do need to actually remember to do that though. But that's not the one I'm looking for. I think it's this one. This one? Yes. So this uses a grid like this. This also, by the way, needs to be a localized text, otherwise that's not gonna work. I did just realize that. Okay, I think let's save some time on this part. So, the only thing is we also need last prune. I don't know if we can probably fetch that. Just gonna ask Big Man ChatGPT again, because it will know. Okay, it does not. Okay. Pruning is is apparently not logged. So in that case, I guess we're gonna have to prune it ourselves, or track it ourselves, I guess. We can run remote.origin.prune, which means I think, oh no, we don't want to do get all, we just want to do get, which I think means no. What if we do dev.prune? I think that once again means no, or maybe that means oh no, I think we want to do fetch.prune. Okay. Okay, so we can't show a last pruned at, but we can show whether or not pruning is enabled, is what it says. So that's fine. We can do that then. So, okay, let's figure out everything we need. So first of all, we need the name. Optional will be default, if it's the default remote. Then we'll have the fetch URL. Then we have the push URL. Then we have the default branch, if available. Then we have last fetch time. Which, I mean, that will be available, that's fine. Then we can have pruning enabled. I mean, that's basically it. Yeah. That's fine. So I'm gonna see if we can get Codex to do all of those. And I'm just gonna tell it should be in the same kind of layout as the get identity or get overview identity pane. Okay, we can watch it do this now, so that's fine. Probably should have saved the file. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. I can't lie. It's going crazy right now. It's going way faster than I anticipated it to. What I will do, actually, so that it doesn't scream at me, is do... Oops, not that. New file, get dash remotes.css. That means that when it comes to do that, that file will be there. Even though it has just searched for it and found it doesn't exist, but I think it's fine. So the only thing it doesn't have is whether or not pruning is enabled. Okay. So, yeah, this is the way to do it, apparently. So that means it's not, I think. So let's go into the get manager and add that in at the bottom. So public boolean is pruning enabled. Okay, boolean, there you go, repo. I think that's probably correct. Let's see what it does here. So it does remote show. Yeah, that's not right. So this should be config. Then it should be -- get. And then remote.name.prune. Okay. Let's see what this has said. Okay, I think it's done then. Okay, it's just gone ahead and added the same CSS files though. Okay. I told it to go ahead and fix that. Okay. It is doing things. Also, things like this need to be translated as well. Okay. So apparently, yeah. So that's wrote that in there. That's fine. Okay. This needs to take in the get manager, and then this will take in the get manager. Okay, this doesn't this have a constructor? That definitely cannot be there. That needs to be get manager and get manager dot upstream, or else null. Is that right? No, that gets the upstream. And so I just want to get the current remote. So I guess I can get the upstream and then map to get upstream dot remote name, or else null, and then do get manager dot get remotes dot stream dot find, or I guess filter remote. I guess we can do objects dot equals remote dot name, and then that. Find first or else null. Okay, that's one hell of a mess, but we can clean it up a little bit, so we can do that. We can do find first or else null. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. This we can also map an or else, I guess. Or maybe just do like that. Sure, that's better. I think that's a little bit cleaner. Okay. Okay. What's your favorite song at this current moment in time? I don't know. Right now, what is my favorite song? You know, I'm gonna have to bring up my music player and look through them. Because I don't know. I like a lot of songs at the moment, actually. I'll have a brief look through them and see if I can. I have a lot in joint first, I think. I don't know. That's a really hard question. I can't lie. I actually have so many that I'm... Probably, if I had to go with one... No, not that one. It's hard. It would probably be a Kid Laroi song, probably. Like, and like one of the older ones, probably. Like, Erase You is a really good one. Or Running is good. Maybe not my favorite though. Same Energy, that's a really good one. It's like it's like, I don't want to call it pop because it's not pop. It's like kind of pop, but kind of rap, but kind of not really either at the same time. I don't really know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Either that or something like Die Trying. That's a good song by Party Next Door. But I mean, that was just like kind of a trendy song, I guess. But it's a good song either way. I don't know. I like some of the Kid Laroi newer songs as well, though. So, I mean, I don't know. Or okay, either that or something like um 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 um, um okay, either that or something like a Rose song, which is a completely different genre of music. Um, like Drinks or Coffee is a really good song. Which I think probably hardly anyone has ever heard because I feel like it's very niche. But that's a very good song. Messy is also a really good song. The one also by Rose, not the one by Lola Young. Or another completely different genre. Something by Sombra, like 12 to 12 is one of my favorite songs. Which is his new one. Anything else? I mean, I like me some Madison Beer as well. Bittersweet, very good song. Or some Juice WRLD. Like I like Hate the Other Side. That's a good one. Or like a classic as well. Like but what's it called? Wishing Well. That's a good one. So I mean, I don't know, man. I have way too many, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, they're not like super popular. I don't think any of them are really super popular songs. I mean, I also like a good old Taylor Swift song as well, though. So I don't know. My music taste is kind of all over the place. It's very random. But also, me and you, why do not listen to the same kind of music? You listen to like metal and stuff, right? Oh no, not metal. You listen to I don't even know. I don't even know what you listen to. I don't remember. But it's like something wild, if I recall correctly. So very different to what I listen to. Yeah, metal. I was trying to remember if it was you or Lone Wolf that listens to metal, but I actually think it's both of you, isn't it? I think you both listen to metal. Yeah. I thought so. I just I don't know. Metal is definitely not my kind of music. It's just too. I don't even know. It's just too much. You know, I can't deal with that much sound. So. Yeah, that's fine. Wait, what is this UI I'm doing? So this should actually probably go at the top, to be honest, rather than there. That doesn't need to be there. That then needs to go there. Okay, then I can extend an RRV box probably. I mean, this is basically just going to be a bunch of buttons. So We can do var refresh. Well, no, I guess we don't actually care about refresh. Okay, we can do fetch all button is equal to a new RR button. Which can be railroad.get.remote.actions.fetch all.button. So it might be button.fetch all, now that I remember correctly. And then this can be font or some solid. And this can be download, I guess. Then we can do bar prune all button. Add remote button. Okay, then we can have var edit remote button. We can have var remove remote button, which we will just set variant to danger. Add remote, I'm actually gonna set that to success. Bar fetch button. Is there a way to do like download? I want to have like a multiple download, but I guess that's not possible. I'm gonna have a quick Google font or some solid cheat sheet. Here we go. Just gonna see the different download ones. So there's a cloud download. No. Yeah, there just isn't really any. Seeing if there's a better download one. There isn't, to be honest. For now I'm gonna do file download, but change to some kind of multiple download icon. We're gonna want custom icons at some point anyways for certain things. And I guess do the same for this one. So like broom I've got here, of course, but change that to some kind of multiple broom because here we're going to have the prune button. For now, I guess actually this can stay as download, but we'll just change it later. And then we have open in browser. So var open in browser button. Okay. So then we can do var primary actions box, which will be that top one. This will be get remote actions, primary actions, secondary actions, and then set spacing 10, sure. Okay, and then I also want to do I want to center them. So primary actions box dot alignment pos dot center. Secondary actions pos dot center. Set alignments, pos.center, pop center. Insets, we'll do 5. Okay. Okay, so now we can actually do the buttons themselves. So fetch all button dot set on action event, and we can do, so we need the get manager in here. Get manager. There we go. And then we can do get manager dot fetch, but we need to be able to do that for every branch. Get fetch on specific branch. I don't know if there's a way to do that. Okay, yeah, we can do fetch dash dash all. Okay. Fetch all remote. So that is actually a new command we will have to add. Okay. Yeah, it's not gonna work. So we'll have to do this.get client. Yeah, something like that, I guess. Repo. Get output listener. I think this is a consumer of some kind. Consumer of get result, apparently. I don't remember how this works, I'll be honest. Let's just go to normal fetch, because it's going to be exactly the same. Okay, so if I now come into here, this apparently is a progress listener. And this is the raw listener. Progress listener needs to be of a get progress event. That makes more sense. And then this can be fetch all remotes. Okay. And then we can just make this, which will just do fetch all. I don't think we want to prune. Okay, I think we do want to prune actually. Okay. Yeah, I think we do want to prune. So that's fine, and we will prune. Okay. And then we're also going to want a void, public void, prune all. that. Okay. Nice. So that prunes them all. So then in here, or in here, I mean, then we can do prune all. Then we have add remote. So we can do add remote button. Okay, now here we also want to bring up a dialogue, so we'll come back to that one. Edit remote, once again, we'll come back to that one. Remove rote, we'll come back to that one, because that needs a dialogue as well. Fetch is fine, so we can just do get manager.fetch. Okay, prune will be get manager.prune. Then open in browser will depend on the remote. So get remote, current, remote. Okay, we can do that. If it's not null, then string URL. As we want to filter, and we want to say objects non-null, and filter again. Just clean this up to say it starts with that, and then actually I guess we can filter to say URL candidate. Oh yeah, that's fine actually. But we can filter again to say that it's not blank. Okay. And then, yeah, we can do this for now. However, later on, we are going to use a util for this. We just don't have that right now. Logger.error. That should use you. Okay, there we go. I mean, do we have URL utils dots? No, do we have browser? No. That means I probably am just using this elsewhere. Desktop utils. Okay, that will do then. Desktop utils dot open URL. URL like that. Now, ideally, we should actually be using services dot oh no, it's not in services. It's railroad dot get host services dot show document URL. But I mean, where am I using this? I'm using that a couple times. Am I using this at all? I kind of am, yes. Interesting. Wait, where am I using that? Wait, that's in here. Remote actions, get executable path pane. Here we go. Okay, let's make this use desktop utils to open URL, because that's probably the one we'll modify later on when we make it actually do what it needs to do. So that'll be fine. Okay, yeah, we do need to implement this, unfortunately. But, I mean, that should be fairly shrimple. I don't think we need to pass the remote in, right? Yeah, we don't. Just needs to be like that. Get prune. Okay, apparently you generally want to call get GC, not get prune directly. So this will probably we'll rename this to GC then. And we'll rename that to GC. Rename these to GC. Rename that to GC. Okay, close those because we don't need them. Okay. And then we have, so that's open in browser. That's actually all of them. So then we just have to do remove remote, edit remote, add remote. So remove remote is just going to be a confirmation dialog. Edit remote will just be an edit dialog for the URL. And add remote will be giving a name and a URL. So I think we can get Big Man Codex to do these for us. Can you implement the dialogues necessary for the unfinished buttons in get actions? Get remote actions pane? Yes. You may want to reference existing dialogues in other Git related UI. Okay. I've set that off on its task. Okay, good. Okay, it's also going to add the missing methods for adding a remote, editing remote, removing remote. That's fine because that's just three very basic commands. It doesn't have to do anything special with those. So I'll let it do that. I'm not going to try and stop it and then try and do it myself and then have to start it again. It's just not worth it. So it might as well do that for me. Yeah, that's literally it. Is remote rename a thing? Yeah, you can do that. That is a thing. Okay. Fair enough. Same stuff, I imagine? Yes. Okay, and there's just adding the ones back in Get Manager. Just gonna check what it's done there. Okay, it hasn't put them at the top. Where the hell has it put them then? Did it fail to put them in here? Or, like, where has it put them? Oh, it's put them here. Add remote. Remove remote. They can go down there. Doesn't really matter. This needs organizing at some point. When I go through and do the Java doc pass of the whole thing, that's when I'll clean some of this up and whatnot. For now, it's fine. Okay. So it's done some changes. Let's see what it does, shall we? So, edit remote, resolve remote for action. Open edit remote dialog. Okay, let's just clean some of this up first and foremost. Okay, so what does it actually done? So, open add remote dialog. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Open edit remote dialog. Looks fine. Looks fine. Current name is not equal null. Yeah, that's a good point. That just doesn't need to be there. Resolve remote for action. So that just gets the remote, which then does that. That's fine. Is remote name available? Yeah, that's fine. This all looks okay. I think it's done a good job here. Okay. Now, so there are some things, some duplicate things, but those are fine. It's done all the lang, it's done all the CSS. I think we're basically... I mean, only thing here is the way it's done the remotes is interesting. Oh, no, I did this. I'm an idiot. I was like, why did it do that? I did this. Yeah. I did. And then that calls update actions. That's fine. Okay. I think we're ready to test just all of this. I think it should all work. I mean, should we find out? I guess so. Oh, wait, we don't have to paint in the IDE though. So we do need to do that. So we can go IDE setup. And we can go left pane dot add tab. Get remotes. So this actually takes in the project. I mean, I guess we can change it to take in the project. So we can do project, and then we could just grab the get manager like that. Okay. Then we can add in the this. So we've got get branches and get remotes. Apparently branches wasn't in there. Thought it was. Guess not. Let's test this and see what happens. Okay. Okay. Okay, the UI not right, so that must be... I must have accidentally made it a V-box. Let's have a look. Did I do that? I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. Meant to make it a H-box, of course. Okay, let's rerun that. And then also, I saw that there was no remotes. Like, there just wasn't any remotes. So, next is to figure out why it's doing that. But we'll try this first and just see what happens. How much more of the skit shit you have to do. So after this, we need to do syncing. So that would allow you to push commits, pull commits, change the branch, change the remote. So we have to have that UI. So that'll be the sync pane. And then we're going to have to do something with stashing. That's not essential. Stashing technically could be left till later, but we'll probably just do it anyways. We have tags and releases, but I'm probably just going to leave that till later because that's not that important. And then the final one will be settings. So changing just the settings for get. Which that one should be not too bad. Okay, there we go. So yeah, there's still no actual remotes though. And also this table's worked, so that's good. So let's first of all fetch all, just see what happens. So this is not updating. Okay, so that's I've told it to go and figure out why that's happening. So default branch. Don't know that's actually true, but sure. So fetch all, yeah, that should do that. Prune all, I don't know like what those are doing. Prune dash all, yeah, that should be fine, I think. Fetch all, probably fine. Okay. So why are there no remotes is the question. So remotes list, here we go. Oh. Of course, I never actually set any remotes. Well, that would be helpful, wouldn't it? Of course. So we need to do fx collections dot observable array list. And then we can do get manager dot repo status property dot add listener, and then we can just yeah, that I guess, and then refresh. I don't think we need to refresh, actually. I think it will automatically do that. Okay, so let's see. Also, just see if the text now updates first of all, but you can see that it's slowly getting longer and longer the time we have to wait until the IDE loads, because it has to run more and more get commands. So yeah, we're gonna have to make those. We're gonna have to put some async in there. But okay, so we go get remotes. Okay, there we go. Now we have some remotes. So origin is the currently selected one. We switch to upstream. Okay. Yeah, so this one's obviously never been fetched. If we now fetch all, do these update? No, so fetch all obviously isn't quite working. Or at least, yeah, so we're not able to fetch that specific branch for some reason. Okay. And add remote. That looks fine. I'm not actually going to test if that works, because I think it will work. Edit remote. That looks fine. Remove remote. I'm not going to test that because that'll break everything. Fetch works. Prune works. Open in browser? What does that do? Yep, so that has actually gone ahead and opened Railroad in browser. And if we test... Well, actually, first of all, what one does that open again? Okay, so that does open my fork. And if I double click this one and open that one, yeah, that does open upstream railroad as well. So that's fine. Yeah, the only thing is like how do you fetch this? 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna ask it how it thinks we should fix this. Yeah, because basically when we're going ahead and doing that fetch, it doesn't then know that that specific branch has been fetched because we're just doing fetch all. So, I mean, I guess what we could do is in fetch all, so this happens async, right? I think so. I guess refresh status internal, sure. It should do that. But then what it should do after is do get remotes. And basically just do that, yeah. I'm actually gonna not use a for each here because I prefer to use a normal loop for that. I think that should fix it. I mean, I think that's basically it. So let's test if this works, and then if it does, that's probably going to be it for this stream. I may be doing a completely different stream tomorrow, by the way, guys, just so you're aware. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, so I'm not going to say. But it might be a bit different. So we'll see. See what happens with that. Okay, so if I now do fetch all, does it update? Yes. Okay, nice. So now that has updated. Okay, lovely. If I do fetch all again, it updates to just now. Nice. Okay, fantastic. And pruning obviously works. That's not going to show up in here because it's not fetching or anything. Okay, so that is it then. Yeah, the only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make this vgrow. So let's go here. And let's do vbox.set vgrow to remotes list and priority always. And what that should do is that should just mean that it will fill the width, fill the height of the pane, but we can check. God, it runs so many commands. It's a good job none of these are like making network requests, right? Because if they were, that would be crazy. But they're not, of course. They're all just reading the git log, basically. So that's fine. Nice. Okay, nice. So that now does span the entire height of the pane. So that's basically done. Now I will say the selected list item doesn't show up as selected. I'm just going to see if it can fix that. The other thing, we probably want to rename this to get remotes list pane so it's consistent. Because, yeah, that's obviously not right. Oh, what is going on here? Uh-oh. What are we doing? Get remote details pane. Get children.clear. Not on application thread. Update content. Interesting. So in that case, let's put this all in a platform .run later. And that should fix all of that. But yeah, that's a good point. So that's obviously bugging out because it doesn't know what to do. Okay. So if we run that now, we should first of all see that that error is not happening anymore. And then secondly, we should hopefully have the selection of the list work. Because Codex says it's fixed that. So you're gonna get done today? No. You have clearly not been listening because I've said about 20 times that we are not close to getting Git done. Okay, so if we now go ahead and select one of these, it actually hasn't fixed anything. But that's just a CSS issue anyway, so that's fine. We can come back to that in the future. When we do a whole design overhaul, which is going to happen at some point, hopefully, maybe. But for now, that's fine. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this stream. I'm going to quickly commit everything, of course. Quickly go through and just check there's nothing crazy. Not that there will be, but you never know. And it's all fine. Details pane. Yeah, that's all fine. I mean, I'm just having a very quick skim. I'm not like perfectly reading it all, but I think that all looks fine. Let's see if Copilot can give me a good commit message. Presumably it can. Get remote UI and back. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's good enough for me. Okay. So yeah, I am now going to go ahead and end the stream here. And I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.